Hello everybody, my name is Chad and I want to welcome you to another episode of Preview Review. And today we are going to go over the movie Willy's Wonderland starring Nicolas Cage. Does anyone remember a little horror video game series called Five Nights at Freddy's? It exploded in popularity back in 2014 and is still going relatively strong, with new installments being released nearly every year. The initial concept of the games were highly original and fascinating, but after a while the franchise just became a bunch of repetitive scares. However, there have been rumors that the creator was interested in making a feature based on the games, which I was genuinely excited about. Funny enough, though, it's apparently taken so long to get the film that someone else finally decided to make a suitably over-the-top flick with an identical idea and also have the crazy Nicolas Cage in the starring role, which is a match made in heaven. No joke when I say I was very hyped to watch this feature, and I would say that it kind of delivered on the absurdity of its premise. There are legitimately admirable elements in the feature, with my biggest praise going to the creature designs and practical effects. The movie perfectly captures the balance between creepy and goofy that's associated with all animatronic mascots among all of its distinctly created killing machines. The costumes are, as well as the electronics, are fairly impressive, especially for a film with a tiny budget for just $5 million. I love the backstory and lore behind the title setting, even if it's just a huge exposition dump. It has some unexpectedly disturbing aspects to it and add to the actual horror. I would argue, though, that this movie is a comedy first, and it made me laugh hard many times, even if I was sometimes laughing at the flick instead of it. I also love Nicolas Cage's performance. Weirdly enough, the feature makes the choice of him not saying a word for the entire film. I will admit that I was longing for him to say some sort of cheesy one-liner at points, but his lack of lines only added to the laughs. Between the deadpan reactions he has toward all the robotic creatures, to his indifferent interactions he has with all the other characters, his body language alone made him give the best performance of the movie. I could transition over into my usual problems, but is this really a film that I need to be critical about? Before I get into legitimate criticisms, let me be very clear about something. You do not watch this movie with censorious intentions. If you do, you're going to have a seriously bad time. Obviously, all the characters are one note. The narrative is barely present, and the acting outside of Nicolas Cage could all be better. None of those hindered my experience, but there are other issues. Whenever the film tries to use visual effects, it's just straight out bad. To be fair, they aren't overly present, but they're incredibly distracting when they are used. While I did like some of the creative camera work, the production sometimes likes to use shaky cinematography and strobe lighting effects, which were aggravating at points. Finally, I wish that the animatronics had a few more lines, because what they do say is either funny or scary, so I guess I wanted more. If the fights were a bit longer, or had better choreography, then it probably wouldn't have bothered me so much. Ironically, enjoyable and legitimately entertaining in equal doses. Willy's Wonderland isn't technically a good film due to its questionable acting, annoying lighting, /editing, plenty of dumb character choices, and some awful moments of CGI. However, I can't deny that I had a blast watching it and want ironically enjoyable and legitimately entertaining in equal doses. Willy's Wonderland isn't technically a good film due to its questionable acting, annoying lighting /editing, plenty of dumb character choices, and some awful moments of CGI. However, I can't deny that I had a blast watching it, and many of its flaws add to the charm of its admittedly ludicrous and stupid fun. It's blazingly paced, ridiculously bloody, frequently hilarious, and anchored by an oddly unique performance from Nicolas Cage. It delivers in every area that it needs to and forgets about everything else. If Nicolas Cage fighting bloodthirsty animatronic mascots doesn't sell you immediately, then don't watch it. If it does, then this is the one crazy ride that I would say is worth a price of admission. If you liked this video, please make sure you hit that like or subscribe button. It really helps me out in making other content. Thank you again for joining me for another episode of Preview Review, where we went over Willy's Wonderland.